They're in now in a second phase of breaking the rules to put this man in that seat. Who is this man as a judge, Jenny?
Absolutely. So I want to talk a little bit about Neil Gorsuch and his record as an appellate court judge, a federal appellate court judge. And then we should talk a little bit about what is actually happening with the nuclear option and what it means. So Neil Gorsuch has been termed what they call an originalist. And what that means is that he interprets the United States Constitution, which appellate court judges and Supreme Court justices are to do. He interprets it through the context of the time when it was written, going back to the 18th century, the late 1700s, 1789 in particular. And that's a problem for anybody other than essentially a white male and a
white male landowner at that. That's right.
That's right, a landowner, because that's who the Constitution was based on. So it's a problem for people of color. It's a problem for women. It's a problem for vulnerable populations like the poor and immigrants. It's a real problem. What Gorsuch said during his confirmation hearings is that he applies the facts to the law. So he goes back to this originalist theory. But his rulings speak for him. He favors corporations over workers on several occasions. As a judge, he ruled against people whose rights were being infringed upon by corporations and by companies. One really good example is the case Sebelius versus Hobby Lobby, where a company was denying employees' rights to contraception despite the Affordable Care Act, the Obamacare Affordable Care Act's mandate that employers had to provide insurance that covered contraception. He said that the ACA, the Affordable Care Act, was forcing the company to violate its religious faith by covering birth control, which their religion taught was gravely wrong. He did the same thing in another case concerning contraception. He frequently, 21 out of 23 times, ruled against workers who were bringing forth safety and health concerns. He ruled against workers seeking to secure other types of benefits and wages that they had earned. And then on the matter of civil rights, we have every reason to be concerned based on rulings that he's put forth, that decisions he's made, that he believes that the left, as he even said once, uses the court too much to protect rights instead of going through the political process. It's not likely that he's going to support same-sex marriage, transgender rights. He said that when asked, what Trump, like if Trump had asked him about Roe v. Wade, that he would not have answered that question head on or square on. But, all of his rulings to date suggest that he might not be a fan or somebody who would be supportive of women having the right to choose for themselves. So we have many, many reasons to be concerned about him. And now the fact of the matter is that he is more likely than not to be confirmed. What happened today when Senator Mitch McConnell invoked the nuclear option was that he pretty much sealed the deal on Neil Gorsuch being the next Supreme Court justice. What happened with the nuclear option is when the president puts forth a Supreme Court nominee, that nominee has to come first before the Senate confirmation hearing, and that nominee then has to be approved to go forward, confirmed for a full vote by the Senate. Well, what happened was they needed the votes to get him out, but they couldn't. But then the Democrats started filibustering, meaning they wouldn't let the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell bring the vote to the floor for very good reason, right? I mean, I just listed out the reasons why we should be concerned about Gorsuch being a Supreme Court justice. So the Democrats in the Senate wouldn't allow the vote to come to the floor. They began to filibuster. In order to break a filibuster, you need 60 votes.
Right.
Well, the nuclear option, when they voted and they couldn't break the filibuster, they got 55 votes to move it to the floor. They didn't get the 60 needed. That's when Mitch McConnell came back and invoked the nuclear option. He changed the rules, or he applied the rules. He applied and he changed them, I should say, because we should talk about the nuclear option actually having been used very recently, as recently as 2013 by the Democrats. We need to talk about that. But Senator Mitch McConnell used the nuclear option that said that, if by a vote